Mama, where do circles come from? So, hopefully, at this point, you've watched that little PowerPoint video that shows you the parts of a circle. This is going to show you how to actually make a circle with a ruler, and then we can kind of look at the different parts of a circle. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to start with circle A, which has a radius of 5 centimeters. So what we're going to do is, it says to, on the back, use a ruler to draw 4 circles. We're going to start with A, which has a radius of 5 centimeters. So I think step 1 might be just kind of label. We're going to say this is A, and it says the radius is 5 centimeters. And so circles start with just a point. And for the sake of space, it might be good to kind of identify what 5 centimeters looks like. So that's 5 centimeters. I'm going to mark a point right at that 5. I'm also going to go ahead and measure up and mark at the 0. So between this point and that point, it's 5 centimeters. So I can put kind of like a little dashed line right there. I'm going to label that with an R, which stands for radius. This right here is going to be our center. And so essentially a circle, you guys know what it looks like, but when you look at a circle, you may not think about where it's starting, and it's starting right here at that center point. If I draw a radius of 5, right, that's going to get me to one edge of the circle. If I come down and draw another radius, so 5 plus 5 is 10, it's going to take me to the other side of the circle. So here's kind of like what we would call, I guess, the diameter of the circle, right? So the radius is 5, the diameter, so from one end to the other straight across, is going to be 10. I'm going to turn and just draw another radius of 5 on the right, and then I'll do a radius of 5 on the left. And then I'm going to do a diagonal one. So what I'm doing essentially is just keeping the 5 in the middle, or at the center, and then I'm just marking top, bottom, right? And there's no, like, the spacing right now doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that the 5 is lined up with the center, so the distance here just needs to be exactly 5 centimeters. And so I'm just going to start filling in gaps that are 5 centimeters from the center on the top and on the bottom. And if you keep doing this, it kind of looks almost like you're looking at the stars, or you could almost think of it as like a constellation, like a collection of stars that are forming a circle. And so you don't need to get a bowl or one of those fancy tools, I guess they call it a compass, that would help you draw like a perfect circle. You just need to carefully do it with a ruler. And really the only thing that matters here is that your distance from the center, which we call the radius, just is the same for every point that you make. Eventually, you're going to get enough points on the edge here to where you can just sort of connect them. So I'm going to do that even if it's not totally perfect. So try to hit the points. This is really just more of a sketch. If you wanted to be more accurate, you just make more points. But for me, I'm just kind of wanting to get like a rough idea of what a circle would look like when the radius is 5 centimeters. And so that looks pretty big. The radius is 5 centimeters. If I were to, let's just do this, so I could kind of go from this point across to the middle and go across here. So this number, so that's 5, that's 5. We call that number the diameter. And a diameter is really just 2 radiuses, right? So from the center to the edge is a radius. From edge to edge, going through the center, is the diameter. And the way that I remember it is diameter is kind of a longer word, whereas radius is kind of like a shorter word. So the radius is the short one, diameter is the long one. What you're going to do, so we have a radius of 5 centimeters, a diameter of 10 centimeters. The circumference is the same thing as the perimeter. So it's just the circumference is the perimeter of a circle. And because I can't measure that edge with a straight edge, the easiest way to do it is to get like a string. It can be a shoelace, and essentially you're going to start on the edge and just try to go around as best you can. So this is just a piece of yarn that I got from a friend, and you just try to match it up as close to the edge of the circle as possible. So that looks actually pretty good. Maybe pull a little bit off. So I'm going to hold it right there, so where the edges touch, and that's the piece I want to measure, right? So if I take my ruler and I start it at the edge, it almost looks like it's going to be really close to 29.5. And so what I'm going to do is, actually maybe it's a little bit, yeah, that should be a little bit longer. It's probably going to be close to 30. So for circumference, I'm going to say it's about 30 centimeters. And really, you're just trying to get as close as you possibly can on that. For this last column, I want you to find me a special relationship. So it's the relationship between the circumference and the diameter. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide the circumference by the diameter and see what you get. So that's your goal, is for these, take them all the way down. If you wanted to, it might be fun to make your own circle E, or to measure something that you find in your house, right? Measure the radius, measure the diameter, find the circumference, and then see what that relationship is. So that's your goal. For each of these, find the relationship. And then from here, we can move you on to a bigger idea, which is finding the area of circles. Good luck.